Welcome back to Peak Health Revolution. In this video, we're going to go over how to fix those tight hips that are causing lower back pain for you. I know a lot of people have tight hips. They stretch them, and they have to continue stretching them because nothing's happening. We're going to go over a fix that's going to finally solve that problem using just 3 exercises. What you guys are going to need for this is some sort of a bench, a relatively heavy dumbbell. I have 50 pounds here, just something that's not going to lift up when we do the exercise, and a glute band. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to go through each of these exercises and explain them. Then at the end, I'm going to go through the full sequence if you want to follow along with me to go through that workout to relieve the tightness in your hips. We will do that at the end. First, I will explain all 3 exercises for you guys. So we're going to start with the dumbbell exercise. We're going to work the left side. I'll demo it on everything on the left side. It all applies to the right side. So what we want to do is hook our foot under this dumbbell, and then our goal is going to be to lean back and come back all under the strength of our hip flexors. So a lot of times what's happening is the hip flexor is getting short and tight and it's very weak. We're going to actually add some strength to that hip flexor and some length so that you stop having lower back pain problems because of your tight hips. And what we're going to do that is load that hip flexor while lengthening it. We spend a lot of time sitting. We need to stretch that out. So hook that foot under. Then what you're going to do, you're going to lift this one up. Everything's going to shift onto this side. We're going to use a bit of our core, but mostly those deep hip flexors. And we're going to come back, get as much of a stretch as we can through there, and then come forward. We don't want to use our body, our momentum to throw ourselves back up. We want it to all be under the load of this hip flexor. Go back as far as you comfortably can and stay under control without breaking through your back and flexing or extending a whole bunch. And then you'll come back up. So if that means you can only get to here and back up under control, that's fine. With time, you'll get further back. So I'll give you guys a couple more of those so you can see what that looks like. Foot's hooked under, this leg's coming up. We got 1, 2, and 3 of those. We want to do about 10 to 12 or to the point that you're starting to fatigue. You would obviously do the other side next. Then we're going to take our little glute band. You've probably seen this little glute band march before, but if not, that's okay. We're going to modify it a bit. We're going to put a bit of weight onto a rack or something else, a wall that you can lean up against. Put a little bit of bend forward, and then we're going to bring this leg up, bringing this knee as high as we can. Hold for a couple of seconds, back down, up again. 1, 2, 3. Back down as high as we can get it and hold. 1, 2, 3, and back down. So at this point, we've done both some strengthening and lengthening of that hip flexor. Then we went into just some strength, some isometrics up at the top, holding that. Again, we would be in that 10 to 12 range here. The next piece that we want to do is get just a very clean stretch on that hip. A lot of the times we're doing hip flexor exercises and they're almost too much stretch for us that we're actually not getting the stretch. We're just contorting our body around it because we can't get in that position. So we're going to do a very actually small stretch, but very effective stretch. What we're aiming to do is the hip flexor that we're working on is called our psoas. It's attaching to our upper femur, upper leg bone about here, and it's running kind of through and attaching to our lumbar spine, but on the front side of it. So think of it running kind of like this. And to get a stretch on it, you obviously need to lengthen it. There's 2 ways we can do that. By rotating this leg, kind of getting a bit of rotation outwards, or by rotating our spine this way. So if we rotate our spine this way, or this femur this way, that's technically going to put a little bit of a stretch on it. The other way that we can do it is either to extend this hip or to extend our lower back. So we're going to actually take all 4 of those principles, put them into a stretch. Very easy to do that. We're just going to split our stance like this, where again, we're working on this left side, and we're going to get that hip, that leg into extension behind us. And it's important that we don't let our hips collapse this way and have our butt sticking out like that, We want to keep the hips rotated down and tuck, like if we had a tail, imagine tucking that tail under, and that's going to be our first piece, is getting that into extension with the hips locked in. The next thing we do, we're going to take our arms up. We're going to make sure we don't, same as with the hips, that we don't rotate the hips. we're not going to crank our head to come back and get into a poor position like this. We're going to lock those hips down. We're going to bring these up, and we're just going to let them go to wherever they can get to. Then we can start to drop this knee forward and down a bit, and that's just going to add to that stretch. So we're going to lock those hips in, bring the arms up, and then we can just pulse in and out of that a little bit to get that stretch. You're going to feel that right through the front here. Next one, I'm going to show just how we can use rotation to do that same piece. Then finally, we're going to kind of combine it all. So what we can do is just by getting rotation out in that femur, in that leg, that's going to add a bit of stretch. And same thing, getting rotation opposite way with our lumbar spine, we're going to get stretch. So from this same position, we're now going to think about having this leg turn out this way without actually turning it out. We're going to leave it there, but the idea, the thought of rotating it, but we're still gripping the ground, is going to create all the rotation we need in there. So we're going to lock those hips in, tuck that tail under, rotate that leg out, put tension into that. Then we're going to go up with one arm. This arm is just going to come across to help us guide that rotation of the spine, and that's all we're doing. And then we're going to rotate in and out of that. Now, if we want to combine all of that, we're locking those hips in, getting that extension, getting those arms up, bring this one across, and then we can, as we're rotating, we're also dropping into that knee just a little bit. And you're going to get way more effective stretch through that hip flexor with that small movement than some of the bigger movements that you see, because we're going to work around just isolating that when we get into those bigger movements, where this one is just focused on that. So those are the three things that we're going to use. This, 10 to 12 reps. Then we're going to use the little band, 10 to 12 reps. Then finally finish just pulsing in and out of that for about a minute on each side. So like I said, now I will take you through a full run of that if you want to have the video playing to follow along with it. We'll do both sides on all three things that you can follow along with. So we'll start now here with our right side. Get that foot under the dumbbell. We'll do 12 here. So 1, 2. We want to go nice and controlled here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you need to stop there, we can stop. Otherwise, we can get these last two in. 11, 12. We're going to switch over, go to the left side. Same thing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop there if you need to. Otherwise, you get these last two in. 11, 12. So you can see how challenging just that is on our hip flexors. We're finally getting strength back into those weak hip flexors. And then we're going to get some length back into them too here. We're going to go over to our little glute band. Lean forward a little bit into that wall or post, whatever you have handy. We're going to go right side first. 1, 2, 3. Left side. 1, 2, 3. Right side. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. We're at 5 there. Right side. 1, 2, 3. Left side. 1, 2, 3. Right side. 1, 2, 3. Left side. 1, 2, 3. Right side. 1, 2, 3. Left side, 1, 2, 3. Right side, 1, 2, 3. Left side, 1, 2, 3. Right side, 1, 2, 3. Left side, 1, 2, 3. That's 10 if you need to stop, otherwise we'll continue to 12 here. Right side for 3. And it doesn't have to be a perfect 3 seconds. The idea is that we're slowing this down and we're holding it for a second. And that's our last 2 reps. Perfect. Then we're going to come into the stretch. So remember, if we're doing our right side first, that right hip's going back, tucking that tail under, locking in, we'll come up. First thing here, and just pulse a couple of times. 2 little pulses, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we'll sweep that arm across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we can just play around with which one feels better to you. Where do you feel it? Maybe focus on different areas of it. Am I really getting that hip extended? Those arms up? Am I getting that rotated out? Am I sweeping across well? It's more about quality than going just through the motion. We really want to be able to actually feel it in there. Now let's switch over to the other side. So now left hip is going to go back, tuck that tail in, lock in, get a bit of rotation outwards. Arms are going to come up. We'll start there, a couple pulses. Helps us drop into that and feel it in the front of the leg. 3 of them there. 4, 5, and 6. And we'll start sweeping that arm across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I notice, this is what we want to pay attention to for ourselves is, do you notice a difference side to side? I notice for myself that getting rotation to this side is much harder than on my other side. So those are the little things that we want to take note of. Doesn't necessarily mean too much. We're just observing it, trying to get more in tune with our body. So typically what I would do, just about done here, is I would do 2 rounds of this about 2 to 3 times a week to just start getting strength back into those hip flexors and also open them up. So I would do 2 to 3 rounds of this whole thing 2 to 3 times a week. Or sorry, 2 rounds 2 to 3 times a week. I typically wouldn't go more than 2 rounds of this. And then the big thing being is like that last one, that stretch, is you can be doing that a ton throughout the day because most of us are spending our time sitting in the short hip position. The more that we can break that sequence throughout the day and get that hip extended, the better. So if we can do that in the middle of our work day, or maybe you have a chance to get out of the car or the truck and just take a second to drop into that, even if you're not getting the hands up or too much rotation, just kind of get into this position, play with it a bit, maybe get those hands up, get that rotation in there. And because we're breaking this short position more often, we're going to get a lot less tightness. And because we're getting strength in there a couple times a week, you're going to notice it's going to reduce the amount of back pain you have significantly and the tension in those hips, because we're getting strength back into it and we're getting length back into that muscle so that it's back to a more natural position and we're getting less compensation in those hips.